This is for all of you dreamers out there. Sit back, relax, open up your minds, and get ready to feel the vibes.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Sky's the Limit podcast. This is the big or hanging with the homies. Yeah.
Oh, you almost gave away a teaser.
Yeah, I know. I almost did. So with that, we're going to go ahead and play our sponsorship videos. Are you ready for a podcast that blends mystery, crime, and a whole lot of laughs? Then look no further than The Fat Man Live and Snakes and the Fat Man, the podcast that keeps you on the edge of your seat, all while never taking itself too seriously. Join Chris Heaton as he dives deep into the reptile world with his unique blend of humor, insight, and, well, let's just say, colorful commentary. No topic is off limits. The Fat Man himself will bring you the latest from the world of reptiles and downright bizarre, all with his signature humor. So grab your headphones, your sense of humor, and get ready for a ride of your life. It's Fat Man every other Sunday and Snakes and the Fat Man on the 1st and 15th of every month. Only on the Fat Man Nation.
I'm sticking around. Yeah, I'm sticking around even though I don't do this shit anymore. But I love promoting other people.
This is why you need DNA shed testing in your reptile game. Unlock your reptile's genetic secrets with Charlie Williams at Grey Rider Reptiles and ShedTesting.com. Charlie's passion for reptiles is unmatched, and he's bringing his expertise right to your home with ShedTesting.com. It's a game changer for breeders and pet owners alike. Simply collect, package, and send off your reptile's shed. Easy, right? Within days, get accurate genetic insights that can revolutionize your breeding season. Whether you're a ball python breeder or a curious pet owner, ShedTesting.com offers fast turnaround times and reliable results. Plus, with Charlie's vast network and partnerships, you're not just getting a service, you're joining a community. So what are you waiting for? Visit ShedTesting.com now and take your breeding game to the next level. Charlie Williams and Grey Rider Reptiles are ready to help you.
Awesome. So everyone, don't forget that after tonight's podcast, to head over to the Fat Man Nation. He is announcing his next 15 minutes of lame contestant for the 2025 15 minutes of lame. And also make sure you stick around after the 15 minutes of lame announcement because he's going to have a very awesome guest on his show. And speaking of guests, well, first, let's go ahead and give our shout outs to everybody out in the live chat. Shauna Kana, how you doing tonight? Thank you for tuning in.
Hey, Shauna.
Mike, double dipper. Then we got All City Serpents, James B. How you doing tonight? Thanks for tuning in. Christine, how you doing tonight? Thanks for tuning in. Kristen, sorry.
Welcome in, Kristen.
Mission Morse, thanks for coming in tonight. Let's see, who else do we have? Constricting Creations.
I like that logo.
Yeah, I do.
Nice looking logo.
John Woodruff from Mad River. Thanks for coming in tonight. So that looks like everybody that is here. So let me go ahead and
so if you want to
come and hang out,
sponsor the channel, just send Ryan or one of us a message. And
you're welcome, Kristen.
Yep. And let's go ahead and do like this.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Hanging with the Homies, where we bring you the realest voices in the reptile game
And today we got someone who's making serious waves in the ball python world. None other than Stephanie Merrihew, the powerhouse behind Audacious Balls. She's not just breeding snakes, she's bringing bold projects, unique pairings, and straight-up passion to the reptile industry. If you've been in the game, you already know her name, and if you don't, trust me, you're about to. Stephanie's got the drive, the vision, and the audacity to push the ball python scene forward. So let's dive in and get to know the woman behind Audacious Balls. Stephanie, welcome to Hanging with the Homies. Let's get into it.
And welcome, Stephanie. How are you doing tonight?
Hi, good. How are you?
Doing excellent. So before we get into the interview, we are going to go ahead and do our spin to win. So that way we can go ahead and get that out of the way. I'm really excited. Thank you everyone that has been entering them entry words every single week. It has been excellent. You guys have knocked it out of the park. So let me go like this.
Actually, it was pretty good.
We appreciate everybody that tunes in every week.
And
wait, no drum roll yet.
And like that. All right. Can everybody see that?
Oh yeah, drum is rolling.
So first spin. Hey, so John, I will be reaching out to you after the podcast to give you information on how to claim your winnings. So hold on, let me go ahead and do this. Disable that. Let's go ahead and spin for number 2. Nice. Same, James. Once I get done with the podcast, I will be reaching out to you if you're not in the live chat tonight. So we'll go ahead and disable that. If it does land on James again, he can't win second. We'll just disable that. That's 2. 3. So,
Must be John or James again.
Yeah. All right.
Oh no! You can send it this way, Mike. You can send it this way, Mike.
Yeah, I see. Technically, I can say I didn't see it. So.
Yeah. You know that said Sean Fuller on that one.
And if anybody's wondering why some people have 2 entries, that is because they actually put in all 8 entry words for every single week. That is why there's 2 of them. So if Mike lands on Mike again, of course, he ain't going to win twice. Yeah. James B. Awesome. All
For
right.
a minute there, I couldn't see it because it kind of froze out of nowhere. I was like, whoa.
That's number 3.
One more spin. No, we got
Let's go.
No, that's 4.
Mike.
Yeah,
No,
number 4.
Two Jameses and me.
Yep, and James B was 4, so one more for number 5.
Mike.
We'll donate that to US Arc.
All right. So number 5. Kambala. And like you said, after the show, I will be reaching out to everybody on how to collect your winnings. Congratulations to John Woodruff, James Perry, Mike Duvall, James B., and Dumbala. You guys are the 5 winners of the 1K giveaway.
So who is Dumbala?
What?
That's my other screen name.
I see.
No, I'm just joking.
All right. So now that we got that out of the way, we are going to go ahead and kick off our interview with you, Stephanie. So, if Mike, do you have any questions for Stephanie?
Yeah. What really got you into reptiles
Mm.
or snakes, particularly?
Yeah, so I had some reptiles when I was like, I don't know, maybe like junior, senior year of high school. Um, I had an acquaintance that had a ball python that he wanted to get rid of, and so I took it and then eventually got a second one, just normals or whatever back then. But and then I acquired like a black and white tegu from a girl I went to school with,
Oh, well, that's
and
awesome.
temporarily had a couple of iguanas. One from the Humane Society had found on someone's windowsill and things like that. So I had those. After a while, like I wasn't able to keep all of them, and so I kept the snakes for a while longer. But it had been probably about 20 years since I had one, and I was in our local pet shop like in the summer, like July of 23, I think, and they had just gotten like a shipment of normals, like a clutch of normals or something that came in, and I was looking at them and I'm like, oh, I miss that so much. Like I loved those guys so much. So it just sort of started back up from there. Like I got one then, and then like in December that year, I got an albino, and then in February, I got like a banana super pastel, and then it was like the Super Bowl. My husband's watching the Super Bowl with our friend, and I found Morph Market for the first time. And that's when I knew there was no way I was going to be satisfied with what I had, and there was no way my husband was going to let me just keep getting a million different ones just for fun collecting. So I've had animals that have had babies like my whole life. Like we had guinea pigs when I was growing up, and they were always having babies. And then we had with our kids and stuff when we were living back in Ohio, we had chickens, we've had kittens. I raised bull terriers. So, I don't know. It didn't seem, there's aspects to learn about it, but it's not like a new concept. So
yeah, since you found Morph Market, and I know you have quite a few snakes now, by following your Instagram, what's one of the morphs that you really like to work into projects, whether it be recessive or a codom gene, and why?
Well, okay. Leopard is one of my favorite codoms just because I love the way it looks like in everything all the time. Like I never see a snake with leopard that I don't think that I haven't loved.
Have you seen
definitely not the only one, but I like that. What?
Have you seen it with Inchy?
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
I have.
They were
I
made
have.
for each other.
Yeah. And then as far, so the recessives, I love clown, obviously, because like I talked in my video you guys played last week, that was kind of like my basis, for everything to build off of. But I'm really excited about working the TSK Xanthics that I just got in, which they've got some growing up to do, but I thought I'd be waiting a while to get my male when I was first getting those. And then when I picked up the pastel leopard one, I asked him how much she was weighing or if like her listing was accurate, and he's like, well, I'll get weights for you. And she ended up being almost 1,000 grams, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go line the male up now, because I don't want to wait till the last minute and then have somebody that needs to grow out and everything yet. So
okay, if you could hang out with one cartoon character, who would it be?
Oh my gosh. You're blanking my mind like crazy now. Like it's been forever since I've watched cartoons, and my kids play Bluey all the time.
My character would be Daffy Duck or the hyena off of The Lion King, because my eyes go crazy this way. So I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think I would like to hang out with Winnie the Pooh. He's
Yeah.
always, and I love eating. But Brad, did you have any questions for her?
Well, yeah, first of all, Brian, Winnie the Pooh, you look like a honey man, so that's okay. I'll let that one go. Okay. Who is one person that you really looked up to, like that, when you started to learn on the whole aspect of breeding and ball python stuff like that? Who was one person you really looked up to?
The one person I really looked up to, I still really look up to. When I was brand new, so when I made my initial investments on Morph Market, it was, I jumped in too quick without taking enough time to figure things out. So when I first bought, I think a lot of people do that I just went and picked out things I really loved. I looked for things that were, close to breeding size and grabbed some things up. And then one of the first people I ended up coming across on Instagram was Mike Rigo of Balls of Fury. And he ends up being in Rhode Island, which is, since we're in these little New England states, it's like that. I felt like he was, to me. I was like, hey. So I reached out to him, just general questions, can you chat with me about breeding, and what do you like about it? And, tell me some things. And he's been just amazing. I mean, he took me under his wing, right from the get-go, and just, he shared so many good things with me. He's the one that shared, Billy's MCMC, one that was really a lot about getting your program in line and having what you want, and you don't keep a bunch of stuff you don't need. That kind of stuff.
You joined Billy's Patreon now, didn't you?
Yeah. So my husband bought me that for my birthday this year. So
that's a good move right there.
Yes, it is
for sure.
And since you joined his Patreon, what would you say is the biggest takeaway that you've gotten out of it?
I don't know if anything specific, but I really love the live Q&As because it's such a great opportunity to there's always something to glean off of that. And it's a great way to get those questions answered. So it's, I love that aspect of it. The chat is really fun, I guess, too, because I feel like that really opened the community up to me. So I've made so many more connections and met so many people and start to feel like a part of it, being there. So
you're definitely in now.
That's where you kind of popped up on my radar, was out of Billy's Patreon chat. I'd never seen your name before.
Yeah, I'm blowing up the chat. You guys are like, who is this person? She doesn't shut up.
Yeah, all of a sudden he's everywhere. You're in his chats, you're all over Instagram. I'm seeing you in other live chats. I'm like, okay. Then I click on your Instagram page and I'm like, she has less than 500 followers. Let me give her a little shout out, try to help boost her stuff up, because I noticed you.
That was the thing that shocked me the most.
Right. Yeah.
It's been growing this week, though, since you guys played the video last week. It's been definitely growing.
That's the whole
I think
purpose.
I was less than 30 away from 500 as of today. So. And
you can always tell, a breeder, if you're, talking to them for quite a while, either they're going to help you or they either want your money.
Right. Yep.
So
most definitely.
You can always tell. But Mike, he's a good guy. Shout out to Mike.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, any more questions, Brad? Sorry for it.
Yeah. Y'all are good. Y'all are good for sure. If there was one, I'll say super breeder. What out of all the super breeders, what would be one that you would actually want to meet and have a sit down dinner with and discuss project stuff like that with? And you can exclude Sean from all the way up top there because he's just obnoxious. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
You can pick Brian though if you want, because us Ohio boys got to stick together. So you know that's.
Oh man, you're talking like Canova level type stuff, right?
Like Canova, Brian. Well, unfortunately,
Anybody
Brian
that's
Barczyk
there,
is
yeah.
gone,
Okay,
you
so
know,
look,
so.
this stuff is just harder because I still have a lot of connections that I haven't made yet, and a lot of people that I haven't had the chance to meet people and things like that. Obviously, I mean, I think Justin's just like a given that he would be a great one, but I guess if I was gonna go by like the snakes that I see that I like consistently just freaking love how they look, it would be Ozzy like stuff. So I don't know as much about him personally, but I know that the coloration in his projects is
But
incredible.
that is okay to pick Ozzy because you would sit down, you would be able to learn so much more. So that's perfectly fine.
Yes. So go ahead, Sean, if you have any questions for her. I know.
Oh, always. So first, Stephanie, thank you for coming.
Yeah.
And,
Thank you.
Really happy to have you on. And I didn't know who you were until Brad shout out, and I was like, she made a 7-minute video because we were all kind of talking about it, trying to make our edits.
I didn't know what to
You made a
do.
7-minute video. You piqued my curiosity. Most people, you tell them, hey, give us a 1-2 minute video clip, and it's like the hardest thing in the world for them to do. But you just did like the work of 7 other people for 7 minutes.
You did a really good job and motivated.
So I ended up just reaching out to you anyways, and we had conversations. And so one of the questions I wanted to ask, you have 6 kids.
I have 6
Now,
kids.
I've got 3 kids, so I'm only working on half the pace you're working. How do you find balance between your animals and your family?
Yeah, I don't know.
Please help me here. I need help.
I don't know if you call it balance. Like, I mean, I don't know. My husband would say that he falls last on the list, so that's the difficult part of that one. I don't know. The kids get some of me. A lot of it. The kids are a part of a lot of it with me. They help me maintain things, and that's a big part of it. Like the rats, I was telling you, Sean. Like I'm crazy allergic to the rats. Like I get really asthmatic with them. So it's like the masks, and I've been working on treating the asthma like with some natural remedy options and stuff, and it's been improving it, but I still have to be careful. So my girls are awesome. I've got 2 or 3 of my girls that are in there pretty much every day helping with feed and watering, and then I'll still go in a lot more now that I can tolerate it better, and then I go in with them weekly and we clean out and do everything. So they really help make it possible.
All right, so I know you're new and all, but I really want to get these wheels in your head just turning, because I think you could go places. You seem to have enough drive to get yourself to where you need to be.
Most definitely.
So I'm going to get your wheels moving so the transmission gets that back end going.
Okay.
All right, so you're mainly focusing on ball pythons, yeah?
Yes. That's the only one that I really have an interest in focusing on, yeah.
That's good. So the ball python market is always evolving. It's always changing. Yes. So what are your plans to stay ahead of the trends and to ensure that your projects are going to stand out amongst other peers that have been doing it as long as you have?
Yeah. So, I mean, I made sure that my foundation is fairly loaded with recessive projects. And I have a variety of directions that I'm hoping to take each of those things in. And I think a lot of it is watching what's available on the market, and looking at what's there. I think the hardest part is that you only get a partial picture from that, because whatever's available, somebody else has something way bigger than what's there, what's available now. So I know that like people, no matter, I can position myself the best that I can, there's going to be people that are like still well ahead of that, and how they're already managing to combine things, and what they've already created or have in their holdback racks, things like that. But again, I'll just use the TSK Xanthic as an example again, because like I really want to see more genes, like more codoms and stuff added into those combos, because when you go to search them for a male, for example, it's like the primary codom gene out of like what little is available is pastel. And that's about that's the primarily what you see. Like there isn't very much else in those combinations of what's available out there. So I would really like to start seeing what other codoms could get added to that, to change it up.
Okay. Nice.
It's okay.
That's probably not I don't know. That's probably not a thorough enough answer, but I try to look at what is available, like what is available, what's out there. So like so in addition to Mike like sharing a lot of information with me and helping me, like he talked to me too about like having a plan. And it was like the time that he was giving all that stuff to me, because I bought like my first clown from him. And so he was like reiterating what he had heard, I think, Billy say about like, what's your plan, where you're going, like have to have a plan.
Yeah.
And
what project are you currently running with the TSK in it? Is there any projects that you're currently trying to imitate or something right now, or do you just have a lot of recessives and you're just trying to figure things out?
Do you have
I have a lot of recessives and I'm trying to figure things out. I think
I like that answer.
Yeah.
Like projects, so it sounds like do people, it seems that projects are something, are there like official projects that multiple people are on board for specific projects? It seems like that's the case, but like do people also have like their own like private, like I'm working this project, or see, I'm going to show my inexperience.
Oh yes.
Yeah, you definitely have to have that.
Every breeder has, I believe, their own project, their own end goal that they're trying to hit.
Yeah.
Like Sean
so like I haven't found one where I'm like specifically like, oh, this is somebody, this is a preset project that these people are working towards. I have ideas in my head. So the thing was like when Mike challenged me to have a plan, I'm like, okay, I started getting on Morph Market. I started looking at like, what genes do I know I like? I started searching combinations, right? And I'm looking at everything, and I'm like, okay, I'm putting all these combinations together, like seeing what comes up, and I'm like, oh yeah, I have all of these genes in my collection. And then it took about like 5 minutes for my brain to go, that's going to take me like a million years to get there. I had like no recessives in my in my collection at all at this point. I'm like, 5 years is probably not even, it's probably longer than that really for that. But it was like, sure, I could combine all these things and make these things, but you're talking forever. Right. So I'm like, okay, this isn't good. So I got back in touch with Mike, and I'm like, okay, what do I even want? Like, here's what I have. What do I even want? What needs to go? And then I moved a bunch out. And when I was raising my last litter of puppies, the majority of my collection I started picking up like in October.
Okay.
And I've picked the majority of them up since then. Like I knew what I wanted. So when I did start searching, what?
You said puppies, right? Yep. Yeah. So you're doing bull terriers too?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Those are like the Spud McKenzie dogs, right?
Yes.
Yes, they are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
When I went and started searching out the genes that I really wanted and the combos. So like I was looking at the genes I knew I liked. And I was putting together combos for like the search, right? I'd be like, what's this, and this together? What comes up? Everything that was coming up was like Canova and how do they say it? Chimera. and
Yeah.
like breeders like that, you know, those were the search results that were coming up. So a lot of combos that I was putting together, there you might have maybe 9 to 11 search results. You might not get any search results. You might get 3 search results. So I think looking at it like that, I felt pretty confident in my ideas in my way of like thinking and approaching it. And I just started I started watching the auctions and different things like that. It was that time of year that people didn't want to get stuck with stuff in their racks, you know, all season, and like the weather was going to come where things couldn't ship. And so I started just watching different opportunities that came along, and I didn't necessarily have to get an exact specific combination, but I knew what things I was looking for, and I managed to get a hold of things pretty well. So
And so what did you end up picking up?
like everything. Do you want to hear all of them?
So, well, if you want to name off just a couple of the recesses, I know you said you had clown. You also work in DG, correct?
Yeah, so I've got clown, desert ghost, cryptic, kryptons, hypo, pied, a little bit of pied. I don't have a massive amount, but I've got some pied and TSK xanthic now then.
Okay, so you actually got some nice, good
Yeah.
recesses to start a base project with.
This
Now-
was one of those things where it felt like this was one of those moments where it felt like you've been floundering around like your whole life trying to figure out what do I want to do? Where do I want to be? What's the direction? Too ADD to commit to anything usually. So it's like I want to do 100% decide, you
Yeah.
know? And
Like you,
as this came along and I decided this is what I want to do, and then I started putting stuff together, and then I started going out and doing like searching, like I said, for what the animals that I wanted. It just felt like all the doors were opening, like all the things, like everything that I needed fell into my lap. And I don't have like a massive budget. If you can imagine, with 6 kids in one income household, like I don't have a massive budget to play around with. But it was just like everything came together, like every minute, like every step of the way, exactly like I needed it to. And so it's just kind of felt affirming that I'm where I'm supposed to be and that this is going to be good. So
yeah,
And-
Brian, he's even working. Sorry, Brian, go ahead.
And no, I was going to just comment on Kristen's comment here. She says she loves seeing females in the industry, and I was going to say no, that's 100%. You know, I love seeing people, just not only just females, but people take
Right.
that, you know, step, take that leap, because it is a big leap to say I'm going to do this and I'm going to commit to it. Especially when it
Mhm.
comes to breeding animals, because animals care in general is a big commitment.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
so for you to be doing, you know, the bull terriers, and now you're doing rodents and you're doing the
Yeah.
snake, because you said you have a clutch about you're waiting for it to drop too, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. So like when the last big purchase that I had made was I found an ARS rack and a couple levels of Freedom Breeder up on a Facebook Marketplace, and I found it while I was raising the puppies, and the kid and I talked back and forth for a couple of months, and then finally in January we like got serious about it and set up a time to go get it. Well, he's been doing it for I don't know exactly how long, but he's been doing it for quite a few years, and he was working with genes that I was already working with.
Right.
And he was like, he's trying to get back to the UK, so he was like selling everything off. He's been in the States for forever, and his mom and siblings are in the UK. He hasn't seen them for like 18 years. So I ended up pretty well just getting like everything that he had left. I ended up with like 12 animals off, you know, I went for a rack and had like 12 animals that I brought home with that. So that particular female, he said, was gravid, and we're waiting. She had her shed that he had said he thought should be her prelay shed like a couple days after bringing her home, but Yeah, I
And
thought that would be
how
last
long?
week, and it hasn't happened yet. So
And how long
Well,
ago
the
was
whole
her?
move could be throwing her off just a
Yeah.
little bit.
yeah, I think so.
Is she still on food? How long? When's the last time she
No,
ate?
she hasn't been
Okay.
on food. And
Okay.
then two of the others that I've been pairing actually came from that group too. He had already been pairing them. That Firefly Het Clown. Sorry, that's the female. The Yellow Belly Desert Ghost Het Cryptic to the Firefly Het Clown. He was already doing that pairing, but I got
wow.
them together again like a week or so ago, and she just looked like she ovulated last week. So
Do you use an
and I've
ultrasound yet?
no,
No.
so I had to learn palpating, so I'm feeling that out and getting
Good
the
thing
hang
to
of that.
know. I can't do it. I use
Right,
the
right.
ultrasound
Yeah,
now.
the kid told me to look up the paper towel method, and I did, and I think
Yeah,
it
that
was
does make things a lot easier.
I think it was the Balls to You was who I found like their video, and it was I've seen it before, but I couldn't see exactly what their hands were doing like the first time I ever saw one. But his video was so perfect because like he showed it from the angles where you could actually see his hand move over the follicles like with each you could watch it. It was just a perfect
Oh yeah.
demonstration.
Yeah,
So
that paper towel just gives it that gliding effect.
mhm.
So that you can actually
Yep.
get that.
And you
But
earlier you were,
I can't tell the sizes. I'm just like, I can't tell. I mean,
Yeah.
sure. Okay.
Yeah. I have had at least, let me think. I've had 3 other pairings lock up too in
Nice,
about the last
nice.
week, and
Oh,
2 of
yeah.
the females that locked, I think there's like something to be said for even intuition in some of this too, because it wasn't necessarily that I was seeing a bunch of the signs that you would look for to say, oh, like she's ready, like you should do it. It's just like I kind of looked at the one and I'm like, man, I got to get somebody in with her. Like I know it's going, I think it's going down, and like they were all locking like solid. So
I can't see mine, but generally what I do is when I start pairing. What's so funny, Sean?
Sorry, Mike.
Generally, what I do is I wait for the females to bowl wrap. And then that's when I start pairing. And then also when they go off of food, when they're all the way back to the back, not curled up, but when they're laying flat against the back of the tub, that's when I know that they're ready and
So,
they're gonna lay.
So this was a perfect example because the one particular female, she was not bull wrapping. She was still sitting on her warm side. I actually had trouble getting her to eat for a while, and she had gradually started eating for me again and was starting to do well. And I just kept watching her, and I was just watching the way she coiled. I was watching how filled out her body looked when it hadn't typically, like she just looked different. I don't know. All I can say is I had a feeling about it, and I put her to him, and she locked. And I'd been trying like last year to do a little bit of that, and it was never, they weren't getting close. So it was just, I don't know.
So here's a question for you: is when you do have the clutches, because it sounds like you're going to probably have clutches by the end of the year. Do you plan on vending, or do you plan on selling mostly of your animals online?
I think probably the majority is going to be online just because of the logistics of our situation. And I'm kind of in the same boat with the dogs because like I would love to get out more in that community too, and maybe show a little here and there and stuff like that. But you're talking, I don't know, it's like a minimum of a 3-hour drive to get to anything from where we are because we're so far north in New Hampshire, so most stuff is going to be down in Mass. And it just depends. I mean, I'd have to, that's a whole nother realm. You're talking like a whole nother load of equipment that you need to get and things like that to be able to do that. So right now, I would like to just attend an expo because I haven't been to one, and I probably shouldn't even admit that.
Go to Tinley.
Yeah, I was going to say, you should head up to Tinley next month.
Tinley.
2 weeks.
Yeah, 2
Right,
weeks.
quit being cheap. You got her VIP pass, right?
Oh, she can make it up there. I got her.
Yeah, come on.
But earlier you were talking about
that's the best spot to go to. You've already had exposure. You've already talked to Chris. Am I correct? I mean,
Well, tomorrow, right?
You're on your
Tomorrow
way.
night,
All you,
9
yeah,
o'clock.
all you really need to do is just show up at Tinley, and the door's already open. Just put your foot through it.
Yes.
Don't be
Speaking of
afraid.
Chris, don't you have a podcast with him tomorrow night? Don't you want to
Yes.
speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, get it out there.
Go ahead.
Well, after you guys played my video clip last weekend, Shauna reached out to me later that night and asked if I would want to be on Fat Man Live.
Awesome.
And I said, yeah, like that. Like I was like shocked. I'm like, what?
We'll all be on
Totally
there
blew me
supporting
away.
you.
That I don't know. That totally blew me away. All of this has blown me away. This has happened so fast that even just the way that I said the doors opened up and things came together, like it's happened so quickly that I'm like, I want to run, full steam ahead. I want to embrace the whole thing. It's almost scary how fast it's happening sometimes, like, but yeah, so she reached out to me and asked me, and I was like, yeah, absolutely. And so, yeah, so I'll be on Fat Man Live tomorrow at 9 p.m.
Sometimes when you're making all the right moves, man, things just start clicking, and it's like, oh my God, wow.
There would be one thing that I think that you will never have a problem with will be your customer service.
No.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. No, I've been in, customer service since my first job at 14 years old. And if I wasn't working in customer service, I've been, raising children. Like, I mean, people are super important.
It most definitely sounds like you have the patience and you're just like calm and, talking to people. Like I said, the customer service is like no problem with you.
Yeah. I mean, even with like my dog families, my puppy families that go home, I have contact with everybody that, the puppies have gone to, or any dogs that I've rehomed have. Like, I have relationships with all of those people and get regular updates and things like that.
Yeah. Then earlier you were talking about like projects that people have that they really don't announce. Like you said, it might take 100 years. Like Brian, he has was it an 8 recessive gene project you're working on, Brian?
16 recessive.
16. Yeah.
16.
So it's just something that he's passionate about working with. And like me, I just work with Sunset, Pied, and Clown. And certain people have the different projects. So.
And, it doesn't matter what you work in as long as you're passionate about what you're working.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Work a project if that's not what you want to do. Don't work a project just because that's what everybody else is doing.
Yep.
Right.
Now, with that being said, are you trying to be like another Justin or another Miguel, or?
So that's the question. I know every interview, everyone gets asked that, no matter what show they're on, I think. I think it's kind of like a gold standard picture, right? Or I've heard some people say, like, I don't really even want to be at that level because it's too much. I think it's like, it's a great thing to aspire towards. I don't know about that level. Like, that's huge, but I definitely don't think small when I look at this.
Right.
She's the dreamer.
Where would you say you see yourself in, let's say, 10 years?
Just wait to see where it takes me, but I plan to be at it.
Okay.
I'd say in 10 years you plan to have your own show, be good size, and have Brian.
Well, I don't want to wait that long. I don't want to wait 10 years. I don't want to wait 10 years for something like that.
Yeah. I didn't wait 10 years. I know Brian didn't wait.
So
I would. So what? Okay, 10 years from now. But I don't even want to wait 10 years for any of this. But I would like to have some structure on my property that is a facility where the animals are, where the rats are not living in a bedroom beside my kids' room. Like, I had kids that sacrificed a bedroom and joined up with siblings so that we could keep them contained, so that we could, I could breathe and things like that. I mean, I want that stuff. Like, those are goals. Like, now, those are goals. Like, as soon as I can get into those things. I mean, I went, I've got 38 snakes now already, you know,
wow.
and I've got at least between 150 to 200 rats, just depending on, you know, what litters are. Like right now, I've sold some off, you know, the last couple of weeks, but like when I had them all in, it was about 200 probably.
So, and what really made you think that, well, this is what I'm going to do for a living? Because obviously you're taking this seriously. You're going to become this business. Do you got your LLCs yet?
I do not. I have the name registered like as a sole proprietor.
Okay.
But yeah, no, not an LLC yet.
And
I mean, technically, I guess my husband set up an LLC. Like we could technically put all the businesses under, but we just haven't really activated it yet.
Okay. And what made you decide this is what you guys wanted to do?
I decided this is what I wanted to do.
We have now found out who wears the pants.
No, well, I don't know. I really don't want to say that like that. I don't. I really don't. But yeah, I think things tend to go the way that I want them to. Like whether that's a good thing or not, I don't think that's always a good thing. But in this case, I do. In this case, I do, because I think I truly, like, I believe in where this is going, and I believe that I'm in the right place to the point that I'm like, no, this is worth, like, whatever challenges we're going through right now, whatever, you know, it's hard, it adds to his load that he has to carry right now, because I'm not making an income off of this right now. And it's already hard enough as it is, you know, so he feels the weight of this like crazy. And someone said to me the other day, I know there was another breeder that I chat with, and he was messaging me, and he says, you know, it must be really nice to have like the support of your spouse. And I'm like, well, you know, I do, but it gets hard, you know, like it gets hard. And he's like, man, this is so much, like, you know, rat food like every 5 minutes and dog food every 5 minutes. And it's like, it's adding all these things on my plate, and it's a lot. And I'm like, I know, but I gotta grow. I gotta we're going in the right direction. I'm like on the brink of like, the rats are going to start making money here, like real soon.
Right.
So you have to go through that growing pain to get to the other side of it. And it's not that far off, you know? But
it's like when I tell people like it's in the horizon, and I can see the sale, but when it comes in, it's really going to unload.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's.
So he helps me, like it gets hard sometimes, and he gets frustrated with it. But then he also, at the same time, you know, 3 weekends ago, I said, I need rat racks now. And we went and built 2 rat racks in a weekend, you know? And then he's like, this is the last ones that we're building for a while. And I looked at him a week later, and I'm like,
hey,
I think
Stephanie,
if we did some shorter ones, about 3 over here,
do yourselves a favor and save up for an ARS rat rack. It makes your feeding so much faster. It makes your watering so much faster. Your cleaning is extremely faster, and it cuts down a lot of the dust. You're allergic.
Yeah, I so believe it, but I need to save for a hatchling rack first.
Right.
All right. You better go start the GoFundMe to get this thing going. We need to get her squared away.
I don't think that's fair.
So, where can people get a hold of you once you do start producing more animals, and if somebody wanted to buy a bull terrier or something from you?
Yeah, so for the bull terriers, I have Marihugh. It's MARIHUGH with an S on the end, but Marihugh Bull Terriers on Facebook. I get a lot of my puppy stuff is through Facebook or AKC Marketplace. I also have Marihugh _ Bull Terriers on Instagram. For the snakes right now, Audacious Ball Pythons on Instagram is really the best place, because that's pretty much where I'm at the moment. So I was saying on the video last week, I need to get a morph market like set up. I'm established. I've bought plenty from there, but I haven't established as a seller yet. So
Awesome.
That's all you need. It's like $20 a month, right? I can't remember what my monthly subscription is, but it's not bad to sell.
Yeah, it's not. I've looked at the options before, and they have a lot of options available. So
Yeah,
And
I
the
also
cool thing is if you keep your account even when you don't have a paid membership, like let's say things get kind of hard, they still count that as the time you've been a member because you still have a free account. So that goes, that goes towards your time as having an account with them too.
Yep.
Okay.
But awesome. Well, thank you for coming on, Stephanie. Greatly
Thank you guys for
appreciate it.
having me.
appreciate it.
You want to go ahead and hang out backstage?
All right.
All right. We are going to go ahead and do our normal.
Hey, Brian.
Yes.
I gotta take this off now, dude. It's stuck. Nobody asked me about it.
Yes.
Bro.
That dang small
Man,
hat.
look at your hair, dude. That hat's so small, it damn there like gave you the perfect hairstyle.
You have to get a hold of Steve there at Aria Reptile.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
my hat, bro, but it's not the right size.
Need to get a bigger one. Have them sign a
No,
bigger one.
hey, the big homie, the commander in chief, is asking his general to find it in his heart to find me a bigger hat, my man.
But we're going to go ahead and end the show like we normally do with a new segment called Brad's Breeder Shout Out.
All righty. All right, Brian, go ahead and do Ben's first.
All right.
Righty. That is Ben. I'm not for sure of his last name exactly. Mike thinks his last name may be Young, but he goes by Ben Cincy Snakes. A little bit of background on the gentleman. He is a former, he was formerly in the military. He does have multiple social medias. He's got YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. He started keeping snakes as pets in 2017. And he started looking into the breeding world then, and he is a gentleman that definitely wants to provide amazing snakes with great qualities. He is striving towards that, like all of us are. Quality, not quantity. He also does ball pythons, boa constrictors, and green anacondas. And if you would like to check him out, go over to Morph Market or his Instagram, and it is for his Morph Market is Ben_Cincy Snakes, and I believe his Instagram is also the same. And then go ahead and roll the genetic. That is genetics. That is Heather and Clint. If you can, please go over, check them out on Instagram. Their Instagram is Heather and Clint. It will say genetics, the logo that was up there. It will show that. Go and give them a follow. Check out some of the stuff they are working on. It definitely looks like some amazing stuff. They are some hobbyists diving into the fantastic world of ball pythons, and they are venturing through the journey and learning just like all of us are doing.
All right. So that has been B-Rad's shout outs. So with that, guys, that's going to wrap up our show. Make sure after the show, you guys go ahead and head over to the Fat Man Nation and tune into his podcast. Make sure you drop that hashtag Dreamers down into his live chat. That way he knows that you have come from our podcast. And for all the winners of the 1K giveaway, I will be reaching out to you here shortly on how to receive your money. So with that, we are going to go ahead and roll our
Give me a quick second, Brian. Give me just a quick second.
Okay.
I see that Ben has joined the chat there, and you are definitely welcome, Ben. That's what we're here for, you know, is to give the good vibes out in the community, and we don't allow the drama up in here. It is definitely a drama-free zone, and we do anything we can to help each other and anybody in the community.
We appreciate it, Ben. I'm Mike. Nice to meet you. I've been on your live chatting with you. We really appreciate everybody that's come into the show. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. We really appreciate it.
Yep. And with that, we'll go ahead.
With every heartbeat, we're reaching for